The COR limit of a modern day driver is 0.83. To most people that means absolutely nothing. But what if you could make it a little bit more? Say with a sander? Let's do it. And let's do it now. Wow. Wow. Hi everyone, James Robinson here. Guys, first things first, I'd like to warmly welcome you all back to the channel, and second thing second, I hope you are all doing well and are all safe. In today's video, I can't stress this enough, do not try this at home. You're going to A, ruin your driver, potentially ruin your sander, and just don't do it, okay? I'm going to be as careful as I can, and I'm going to sand down this driver face and see just if I can get it to produce a little bit more ball speed for its return, or bang for its buck, as some people might like to call it. So guys, if you are new here, please don't hesitate. Make sure you do, we might need a golf ball. Make sure you do hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because you definitely don't want to miss, well, you don't really want to miss, I mean, you really don't want to miss this, do you? Not that you'd have to subscribe to watch it, but he's plugging in, see? So guys, I hear a lot of you saying now in the comments, obviously I don't hear what you say in the comments, but I'm going to explain now what COR means. So COR stands for coefficient of restitution, and actually that's one of the only things that I remember from my PGA exams all those years ago, so I didn't really have to Google it that much. But in layman's terms, really all it means is kind of trampoline effect. It means how long the ball is allowed to stay on the face for before it projects away from the face towards its target, or in my case, out of bounds. Obviously COR limits were brought in to stop people like Tiger and John Daly and Bubba Watson just smashing it 500 million yards. Technically, would it make a difference for your everyday golfer? Would they see a huge difference without that rule? I'm not so sure. I mean, it's not really for me to test. And interestingly, what you will find is that driver faces will start to wear thin anyway. They will start to wear a little bit. And there was a lot to be said that Jordan Spieth hit that many drivers and practiced with his old driver. I think it was his 919 or maybe 917 or something like that. He was using an old Titleist driver for quite a while. He'd hit that many shots with it. They were starting to worry that it was going to become illegal because the COR would be too high. So he didn't take a belt sander to it or an orbital sander, but yeah, only idiots would do that. And guys, you see, if I told you this was my idea, then I'm not going to lie, guys. I'd be lying because I got a text from one of my subscribers called Brandon. Brandon, thank you so much for the idea. I just had to do it. So I ordered myself an orbital sander. Orbital sander. And the rest is history. So guys, you may be shouting down your computer screen now, no, don't ruin that driver. That driver's better than what I used. It's fantastic. Don't get me wrong, it is good, but it's Chris's, and Chris's has given it me for the sake of science. So it'd be rude not to do it now, wouldn't it? So as you can see, we are here in the back garden, so I'm not expecting numbers to be quite as high as they would normally be, but I would hope they're going to be there or thereabouts. So let's get initial testing done first. And you see guys, what we're going to look for from this is we are going to look at the club head speed, the ball speed, and just if by making this club face thinner we can produce more ball speed for the same amount of club speed. I think I've said that already, but what I haven't said is a driver club face is around about 2.5 millimeters thick, there or thereabouts. So I think if we can sand off even 0.5 millimeter, we've got to be hitting 300-yard drives, right? Maybe not, but we'll try. Not gonna lie, I'm quite nervous about sanding it down. It's not something, I'm not exactly a handyman myself. That was a toey one. Love how you hold the finish just in case the neighbours are watching. Do you guys do that as well? So guys, just while we are initially testing this Taylormade M1 driver, make sure you do hit those comments below. What do you think is going to happen when I start sanding this face down? Obviously, I'm presuming the finish is going to go, the paint's going to go first. Then we can start to get down there a little bit. What I'm not going to try and do, I'm not going to try and take too much off it. I suppose it's like a good haircut, isn't it? You can always take more off, but you can't glue it back on. The girlfriend wants to do mine, but I said no. Also remember guys, if you do this, it does make your driver illegal and probably a lot less good looking, so. Right, so that's 4 shots hit. Let's hit one more. Then we'll take a look at the numbers before we sand the face off. We'll get the we'll get the sander fired up and then we'll see what difference it makes. Right guys, so that's 5 shots hit with the standard Taylormade M1 from I think it was 2016, maybe 15, I'm not sure. If we take a look at these numbers, all pretty good, very, very consistent actually. I would expect these to be down, especially in the club head speed. A, because I've not hit balls in 6 weeks, 5 weeks, and B, because there's houses all around me, and if I was to miss the net, surely you shouldn't be, I mean, it's a big old net, isn't it? But if you were to miss that net, then it wouldn't be ideal. So looking at average club head speed, 101.9, we'll call that 102 for the sake of argument, producing a ball speed of 151.4. Okay, so the target now is to go and sand the face down. This might take a while, it might work, it might not work, I honestly have no idea. But then hopefully produce some shots with a similar club head speed. If the ball speed's up, it's worked. If the ball speed isn't up, then hasn't worked. So right guys, very rarely do I have to say this on my channel, but do not try this at home. Very rarely have I had to say it, but I definitely mean it. Do not try this at home. Right, okay, so 1 driver and 1 orbital drill. Let's do it. You can see that I'm focusing on the sweet spot, and I don't really know why, because I don't really hit the sweet spot that often, but anyway. Right, so guys, we're going to keep taking little breaks and just assessing how much we feel like we've taken off. At the moment, we've definitely taken off, well, the paint at least, and what I'm doing is I'm judging it against the grooves. Oh, the garage is a bit short. The grooves that's in the face here. So if we can get those to be obviously a little bit shallower, these are probably 2/10, a fifth of a mil thick. So we kind of need those almost to disappear, but it started well. Now, one of my main concerns is that I'm not really going to be able to tell how much we've taken off. We're definitely kind of getting there, but yeah, looks cool, doesn't it? Another worry being that I'm not entirely sure if it's going to be even afterwards. So if we see a couple of shots that go, it's probably my fault, but I mean, even if it is my fault, it's my fault because I've done it. But yeah, so far. Well, and about, must be nearly an hour later, I don't think we've done too badly there. I mean, that's, not gonna lie, I wouldn't like to try and take it much further. And to be fair, that was quite a lot, take these off now I think, safety first and that. That was quite a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. So maybe if you, I mean, do not try doing this, but maybe if I was gonna do it again, I might get something a bit better than an orbital sander. But we've definitely taken some off. You can see here, I'll get some close-ups on screen now. I think this could have worked, you know. Again, I didn't want to take too much off, but they're definitely a lot thinner than that there. So maybe we've taken a couple of points of a mil off, which should be enough, is it? There's only one way to find out, isn't there? So looking down at it, it looks, well, it looks different, and I could have probably done it neater, but this is a performance test. So right, I'm going to give myself the first few to loosen back up because we've been stood there for ages. The sun's even gone in. But is it going to be more efficient? My new illegal driver. Oh, I tell you what. Oh, this could be interesting now. This could be very interesting. Where's my tea gone? I'm not going to show you till the end. The tea's gone here. But that's interesting. Maybe this wasn't all a waste of time after all. Wow. Wow. Remember, however excited I get about this, do not try this at home. Don't. Don't. Idiots like me do this so you don't have to. Right guys, so some interesting results there to take a look at. A little bit of feedback, doesn't feel any different, sounds a little bit kind of tinnier maybe, but hard to tell, we're in the middle of a housing estate, so neighbours and stuff. But let's go take a look at the differences in performance, and potentially let's talk about what would have happened if I'd have stood there with the sander all day. 'Cause I'm sure some people would. Right guys, so nice to get back into the inner sanctum, and before we take a look at the numbers, what do I think? I think there's definitely some mileage in it, obviously pardon the pun of the mileage and the distance, but definitely not something you want to try and at home. I could have stood there a lot longer and I definitely could have got it a lot thinner. I could have potentially even used a different orbit, a different sander, or a different grinder or something like that, but for the sake of science I felt like we've done what we need to do. So what happened? So we'll take a look at the first numbers again. I'll put those up on screen now. So a lot of carries of around kind of 261, 263, 267. Again, I felt like out in the garden especially, I'm not necessarily committing to shots like I would in the simulator or in the golf course, but there or thereabouts, very consistent. Club head speeds ranging from 104 to 100. So we had an average club head speed of 101, an average ball speed of 151.4, and an average total distance of 272.6. Now then, after we spent an hour sanding the face down, we hit 5 more shots. Again, all around kind of, you'll see that the distances actually are a lot higher. So the ball's going further. Some of those smash factors are obviously 151, very, very ridiculous. It's definitely spinning a lot lower, spinning at 2.3 as opposed to 2.8. We've got an average smash factor of 1.49, an average ball speed, I'm doing this the opposite way around, sorry. An average total distance of 277, so distance is up. An average club head speed of 101.9, which is exactly the same. Can't stress that I would hope to be hit harder than that, apart from win the garden. Keep saying that. An average ball speed of 152.2. So the ball speed up by nearly 1 mile an hour. And like I said, I spent probably about an hour doing this. So if I was to spend hours and hours and hours doing it, obviously eventually the face would just wear thin, cave in, probably a little bit like my content sometimes. But we gained 1 mile an hour, we gained 5 yards. Again, this is only 5 shots, I don't know why I'm swiping so many times. We gained 5 yards, we gained nearly 1 mile an hour, and I guess you could call that a success. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you have enjoyed it. Obviously, that makes that club now illegal and useless, so do not go and try that at home. Do not ask anyone to do it for you at home. There is actually a website that does this kind of thing, and I find that mind-blowing. But for me, that's the test done. I'm quite glad it's done. Not gonna lie, I was really nervous about this. I was really nervous about filming it. Obviously, you saw me put the gloves on and the glasses on and things. I'm not a metal worker. That may surprise you after watching this video, but all's well that ends well, I guess. Guys, thank you so much. Smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. What do you think? I know it's a bit stupid and a bit of fun, but it had to be done, in my opinion. So also, what other content would... I need to stop putting that there and then grabbing it back. What other content would you like to see, guys, moving forward? Hopefully nothing as extreme or as stressful as that. Thanks once again, guys, and as always, I very much look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Tell Chris he's not getting his driver back. Now then. I suppose you want your driver back, do you?
Oh, has it come off?
Oh,
it's alright, isn't it?
I'll tell you what, so I've just finished filming now, you're actually on camera, so thanks for driver, but 1 mile an hour extra, ball speed.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, so exactly the same club head speed, it's spun less, obviously it comes down to strike, doesn't it, but yeah?
Yeah.
So, right.
Spot on.
See you in a bit.
See you then.
Maybe we'll take it down a level first. Probably for the best. Oh, that comes off very quick.